But let's not fool ourselves to think that Trump is not willing to act illegally.
Gotcha.
Right? He can illegally get himself on the ballot. He can illegally get himself to some version of 270 votes, and he can illegally declare that he is still the president. And who's going to check him, boo?
Yeah,
Like, who's going to actually
Right.
stop him from doing that, right?
It won't be the Supreme Court. I love the article you wrote for The Nation called "It's Impossible to Overstate the Damage Done by the Supreme Court." Do you think the Supreme Court would back him in something like that?
I don't know.
Wow.
Not only do I not know that they would back him, if they don't, I don't know that he would follow their order.
Yeah.
There's been no evidence that Trump is going to follow a Supreme Court order that he doesn't like. And more to the point, there's been absolutely no evidence that he's going to enforce a Supreme Court order on the co-president, Elon Musk, that he doesn't like. So even if the Supreme Court stands up to him, and I'm putting that in air quotes, there's no evidence that he'll actually listen to them. Because anything that he controls the physical power of, and I think people really have to understand this in a kind of chest thumping way. Like, if he physically controls it, because he physically controls the army, he physically controls the paramilitary, he physically controls the secret police. If he physically can control something, he doesn't have to listen to nobody. Legal, illegal doesn't actually matter to him if he has physical control. Now, if he only has control because he's got to get other people to do his bidding in the states, in the localities, that's a place where the Supreme Court can kind of step in and maybe show some spine, right? So if you think about these lawsuits that he has in New York against, like, Kathy Hochul, if it's a situation where, like, he has to force Kathy Hochul to do something and Kathy Hochul says no and the Supreme Court says no, well, then I don't think Trump can't force her to do it unless he's literally willing to put, boots on the GW, which he might. But, then we'd have some real traffic problems in Fort Lee. But if it's something that he has complete physical control over, I see no evidence of him actually following the Supreme Court order.
What do you say to people who say, is it really a fascist dictatorship if this is what people voted for? The people will say that was democracy working.
People voted for Hitler.
Yeah.
People voted for Franco. People voted for Pinochet. Fascist dictators are always popular. That's how they get to be fascist, right? And it never has to happen to a lot of people. That's not how they stay in power. It just has to happen to enough people to make everybody else fear it could happen to them.